Football 10-2 in the regular season a year ago.
Yeah, let's phrase it like that. I like that.
Yeah, I finished 10-3, but 10-2. The reason I bring up 10-2 is because with that 10-2 mark, they went into conference championship weekend watching with big eyes to see if just maybe there was a path that would get them into a New Year's Six game. Of course, the Cougars needed Oklahoma State to beat Baylor.
1 foot away.
1 foot away. Baylor wins. Baylor goes to the Sugar Bowl. BYU does not get into the New Year's Six game. They go to the Independence Bowl, and who cares what happens after that? Who cares what happens after that?
We're going to a Power 5. We weren't motivated.
It was a winning season overall, okay? 10-2 in the regular season and a Power 5 invite. Doesn't matter what happened in the bowl game.
Pac-12 champs.
The question is, does BYU, with what we think is a more veteran, dare I say better team than last year, have a better chance at making a New Year's Six bowl game this season than they did last season?
No, and it's not even close.
Not even close?
Not even close.
Wow.
It's a logistical thing, Spence.
Okay.
There are 3 bowls that have at-large bids. 2 of those are the semifinals. So you have one spot, one at-large spot this year, because the other will go to a Group of 5 team. It's in the Cotton Bowl. So it ain't happening because the Rose, Orange, and Sugar are going to have their conference affiliations. Now, there could be, there's not a strong showing from the Big 12 this year. And, they don't have a second at-large, perhaps. Maybe. But chances are no. So BYU probably has to go 11-1 just to be in the conversation this year. 10-2 wouldn't do it because of fewer at-large spots. But also, I think this schedule's tougher. You don't have the lowly Pac-12 to run through and go 5-0. I kid, the Pac-12's good. But, BYU took care of business, right? And it was a strong year for the Pac-12. Look at who won the league. Then you have 4 preseason top 25 teams. They're not going to pan out to be 4 in the top 25 when the season ends, probably. But, you're playing a really tough schedule, obviously, with Baylor and Oregon and Arkansas and Notre Dame that notably stick out. A stat of interest, BYU has played 81 teams who won at least 10 games in a season historically. Okay. 15 wins among those 81. I'd like that to be a little higher, right? But the point is, when you play a team that ends up being good, it's hard to beat them. How many of those 15 were Power 5 teams? Okay, now Power 5 is a modern term. Utah last year is one of them. The other is 90 Miami. That's it. If Notre Dame is a 10-plus win team, it's hard to beat them because they're really good. Well, wait. We beat them in 04 and 94. It's because they were 6-win teams those years, right? Well, what about Oklahoma when they were ranked 3rd? They were 8-5. What about Pitt in 84? They were 3-7-1. You need some teams to not be as good as you thought they were. I hope Oregon's not as good as people think they are. I hope Baylor's not that good. Notre Dame's going to be good. It's whether it's 10, 11, or 12 wins for them typically. So that's the hope. I hope Arkansas is a 8-5 team, not a 10-3 team this year. Then you have a better shot at getting them. So that's what we hope for. Unfortunately, there are fewer at-large spots available for this in the New Year's Six. BYU's going to be good, but our hope is that, BYU can go do what it did to, Arizona State was ranked at the time, but they end up 8-5, that kind of thing.
At least BYU beat the defending Pac-12 champion Utah Utes head-to-head a year ago.
The Pac-12 champs lost to the Pac-12 champs, if you will.
The Pac-12 de facto,
de facto
South Division champions.
Yeah,
unfortunately, it comes down to just the number of available spots, and it's a rotating discussion year in and year out. So, and you correct me if I'm wrong, again, with 2 at-large spots available and 1 going to automatically the Group of 5 representative, unless another Power 5 conference has a poor showing, as you pointed out, we're looking at, maybe 2 spots, Maybe, right?
1?
Depending on
There's 1 at-large, Spence. That's reserved for an at-large team. So BYU has to out-at-large SEC 3. So best SEC team's probably in the playoffs.
Because who's locked in?
It's
the college football playoff is taking 2 bowl games automatically. Those are the 4 spots.
Fiesta and Peach.
Okay, so the Fiesta and Peach.
Which traditionally are 2 at-large in each. So that's where it's tough. Yeah.
So the Fiesta does not have an immediate tie to any conference year in and year out.
They're an at-large bowl game. That's
Peach
why
Bowl,
BYU's always been associated with that bowl game.
Right. The Peach Bowl has kind of become, in some ways,
it's a Big 12 SEC game.
Yeah, we've seen a group of 5 team end up in the Peach Bowl before. Western Michigan played in the Peach Bowl.
Yeah,
like they can maneuver some spots depending on the year.
I think they were caught against Penn State that year.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it just kind of depends. This is not a great year to try an at-large.
Last year felt like the year. Right?
Yes.
Last year felt like the year because there were just an ample amount of spots available to crack into the New Year's.
There are 3 of the 6 that have conference affiliations for both teams. When those are the semis, that's a good at-large year. You get a chance there. So BYU has to at-large Big 10, 2 and 3, SEC 2 and 3.
Here's how BYU takes that last spot. 1, obviously, you got to be ranked in the top 12, right? Like it feels like you have to be in the top 12.
And that won't necessarily even do it.
Okay?
Because of the few.
Just saying, like if you want to be in the conversation,
so we're saying
top 12 team.
We're saying 11-1 with that.
Okay, top 12 team. Well, I mean, they were 10-2 last year with a perceived weaker schedule than this year. I think 10-2 would put you right back where you were last year, like 11, 12-ish, but against a tougher schedule. So does that carry more weight? However, because there's only one spot, you have to be ranked higher than an Ole Miss situation.
Then the third best SEC team.
Ole Miss was the third best SEC team last year, and they were clearly in under Lane Kiffin. So it really comes down to BYU versus third best SEC or the second best Big 12 team.
Or third best Big 10. Like
how good is the Big 10 this year? And how
really
many?
Hard.
Well, the thing is, but here's the thing: if your conferences, if you get into the college football playoff, let's say the SEC puts in 2 teams in the college football playoff, Jarom.
They're not obligated.
Then the third goes to the automatic tie-in with the SEC, thus opening another at-large spot, right? So it all depends on how many teams from a conference, and we think there will be 2 from the SEC, right? Probably Georgia and Alabama, because that's what happens every year. Okay?
Yeah.
That's a good thing for BYU. If you get the SEC with 2 teams in the college football playoff, then that opens up another at-large spot. So you got to probably be better than third best SEC team.
Well, pieces shift at that point,
or you have to have 2 SEC teams in the college football playoff, opening up a perceived second at-large spot.
Yeah, and pieces move, right? Like, okay, there's 2 SEC, the Sugar, this team. Well, how did the Big 10 fare? How did the Big 12 fare? Is the Pac-12 actually, are they good enough to produce 2 New Year's Six teams?
No.
You got your Rose Bowl team, right? And then you got the second team.
That will be the case for the Pac-12 again, they'll have someone in the Rose Bowl.
This is a terrible year to try and at-large. Now, the good news is, starting next year, if BYU is in the Big 12 championship game, it's got a great shot at making a New Year's Six game. That's what it takes. The third team from the Big 12 doesn't typically go to a New Year's Six game. But if you can be the first or second best team, obviously if you're best team in the Big 12, you're going to a New Year's Six game. You may even go to the playoff if you're that good, right?
Sure.
Depends. But next year, BYU finally has access to this in a way that it has not had ever.
Sure.
Now, and next year is not the year for BYU. 24 on. Next year is a rebuild, most likely, for BYU.
Well.
But we're in on this year.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Let's hope that BYU is replacing their quarterback next year, because that means Jaron Hall has a fantastic year.
I want it to be a rebuild.
He goes to the NFL.
Because I want this year to be amazing. I want this year to be amazing.
Jaron Hall's back next year.
Is next year.
If Jaron Hall comes back next year,
it means he got hurt.
Something's gone wrong.
Something
has gone wrong. You would think.
Frankly, I almost don't want him because I want this year to be so good. Does that make sense?
The question is, do they have a better chance of making a New Year's Six game? I think BYU has a better overall team than they did last year.
But they don't have a better chance because of the logistics of the bowl setup.
And I'm not even buying in the schedule's a little bit tougher, but because BYU is a better team, the schedule's tougher. I feel like it's a wash. It just comes down to number of available spots.
Which are fewer, so it's harder.
So they do not have a better chance based on logistics.
Yeah.
But root for the SEC to put 2 in the college football playoff, open up another at-large spot, and at a minimum 10-2, then BYU will, quote-unquote, be in the conversation.
11-1, you're really in it. And even then, that might not be enough.